Okay, so like I said, what the heck is going on here, people? Is there anybody in this church in a leadership role that knows what they're doing? I know John Rice has no clue what he's doing. Like I said, I think he's mentally unstable, okay, because of his behavior. All right, that's what I want to know. You don't, okay, so then John Rice gets back to me. Yeah, do y'all want to call the police? We can do this the easy way or the hard way. And I'm like, this is like a Monty Python skit. It's like, I just ignored him. I think he just kept like pestering, and I kind of just like slow motion nodded my head. I was like, call the police. I don't care. What are they going to do? What are you going to tell them that I was sitting in church? What are they going to do? Well, you know what? Here's the thing about the trespass. I got an email from Dr. Glenn Money at 4:45 on Friday afternoon. I didn't read it till Monday night at 9 or 10 p.m., right? Into my Yahoo account. That's my junk account. That's where all my garbage emails go. I've got like 300,000 emails in there, you know? So, who sends an email on Friday at 4:45 p.m. unless there's some strategy going on there? Like, we're going to send it, and hopefully he won't get it, and then we can tell the police we sent it, and then we can get him in trouble. Or something like that. I don't know. Is that the strategy? I'm just saying it's strange. It wasn't like 4:43, 4:42, 4:40. It was 4:45. Boom, on the nose. Okay, could just be a coincidence, but it's a little tiny little letter, like two paragraphs. Why does it take an entire week to write a little tiny letter with 2 paragraphs? A very simple language. It's not legal language or whatever. It's just very simple layman's language. You know, why does that take all week to prepare to send at 4:45 on Friday afternoon? That's what I want to know. Why? I don't read my Yahoo emails at 4:45. I'm off work at 4:40. I'm running around doing stuff at 4:45 on Friday afternoon. So then I get to church. This is, again, November the 8th. The week following, the other week, where I raised my voice. And I apologize for jumping back and forth. But anyway, November the 8th. So I get to church, and the doors are locked. The door we tried to go in was locked. And then one of the nice ladies in the band met us there, and she said, we can't let you in without a mask. I said, well, okay, I don't want to get you in trouble. And then she smiled. I said, I don't want you to lose your job. Obviously it's not a job. I was just making a joke, And she's like, well, I won't lose my job. So we had a little bit of friendly back and forth. And, and she said, oh, there's a letter for you or an envelope for you at the table down there. Oh, okay, cool. So David and I ran down there. I got the envelope. It said Mike Kemp. I stuck it in my pocket. If somebody didn't tell me what was in that letter, I might have never read it. I don't know what it is. How am I supposed to know? You don't tell me. Like, you should write on there, like, please read before entering. Very important. Please read immediately. Something like that. I mean, as far as I know, it's just a letter. It's just an envelope with an invitation to a potluck dinner or something like that. I mean, how are you going to give somebody a letter of legal significance in just a random general envelope with their name scribbled on the front? For all I know, everybody got the envelope. I mean, I don't know. I mean, how did Ellen know? How did this lady know that there was an envelope down there for? I would assume it's because she got one also. I don't know. So I just put it in my pocket. So John Rice is all excited because he thinks that he even said, well, we sent you an email and we gave you. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I didn't get an email. And what letter are you talking about? He starts to hand me something. It looks just like the other. I pulled the other one. They look identical. I just held it out. So I already got that. Whatever that is, I already got it, And I'm not going to read whatever's in it in the middle of church service, I'm not that, if I thought it was important, I would, but I mean, like I said, a potluck dinner or what, I don't know what it is, So he starts getting all excited because he thinks that I got 2 copies of something. I was like, I didn't get any copy. I don't even know what you're talking about, And then he starts talking about calling the police. I'm like, well, then, whatever makes Monty Python happy, man, just go ahead and call the police. It's like Looney Tune Town. Just go ahead and call the police. So he calls the police, And I think while he was talking on the phone, he pulled the mask down under his chin. And then the whole time, like for a half an hour, because we were like a half an hour late, so there's like a half an hour left or whatever, 45 minutes left. I don't think he ever put his mask back on. I'm telling you, it's like Monty Python. It makes me crack up every time I think about it, right? So anyway, so the service is over. The police never show up. Because I think the police are like, what's he doing? And he's like, he's just sitting here. And the police are, what do you want us to do about it? The guy is sitting in church. Come talk to him. Anyway, so they never showed up. So Dave and I got up at 11. We beeline to the exit. Boom. Right? Straight to the exit. You know, we're not hanging around. We're not like breathing over people or anything like that. As if that would even be a problem. I mean, anyway, so John Rice is following us like a little baby duck and just talking the entire, we had to walk down 2 flights of stairs around the corner. Yeah. He's like talking, Mike, I'm sorry the police didn't show up. Mike, I'm sorry. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. I was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care, man. I didn't come here for Monty Python. I came here to worship God. You know, you just keep your little Monty Python skit to yourself, you know? So I come around the corner, and David's behind me. I'm coming around the corner, and the lady's there handing out mugs, and I'm walking, and then while I'm walking, I'm looking, and I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty good. I wouldn't normally take it, I mean, because I got enough mugs, you know, and then you get so many mugs, you have no more room in your cabinet. But I mean, it was small, and I like small mugs because I have all big mugs, and then I drink too much coffee, and I get an upset stomach. I was like, oh, that's a small mug, and it looks nice. Actually, I would like that, you know, like I'm like 3 steps past the table, and then I turn around. Oh my gosh, that was a mistake. That got John Rice all excited, man. I mean, he just went like bonkers. Like bing, 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 bing. Just because I said she offered me a mug. I just went, no, you're not allowed to have a mug. Da, 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 da. You know, I'm like, all right. So David is standing there talking to the lady. He's getting a mug because David loves free stuff. So I said, David, get me a mug, you know. And then John, no, one per. And then that's when he starts bumping me with his stomach. Like this. I was like, dude, why are you acting this way? Anyway, so, oh, and then when I turned to look at him, that's when I noticed he still had his mask under his chin. And I was just like, this is crazy. This is like crazy town. So I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something. So I just said very quietly, because I knew last week I raised my voice. Okay. And I knew they exaggerated it and said I was yelling and I was threatening violence. And I'll get to the slander part. They accused me of slandering Dr. Money, which, you know, it's not true. That's not true either. John Rice is a liar. Okay. And I don't buy that he doesn't know the meaning of words. Okay. But anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So I turned to him and I said in a very quiet voice, I said, you need to put on your mask. I don't want you to give me coronavirus. And then I just smiled. It was just too much, man. It was too much. So then David and I left, and the whole way we're to the blacktop, and he's still spitting out angry epithets. You are no longer welcome here, Mike. You are no longer welcome here. You are no longer. He said it like 3 times, and it's like. Now here's the distinction. John Rice is throwing a fit inside the building in front of 50 random people. Okay, the week prior, and he's just saying nonsensical, irrational gibberish, right? Like, for example, one per, you're not allowed, you can't have a mug, you're no longer welcome here. I mean, just stuff like that, right? Just nonsensical, like unhinged gibberish, right? Inside the church, while everybody is congregated as they're leaving, as they're all being squeezed through the same door, because that's a good epidemiology or something. I mean, I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, so me, on the other hand, when I raised my voice, number one, I was making substantive observations and statements. I wasn't making unhinged, irrational gibberish statements. I was saying, for example, what are we doing here that you're so fanatic? If you want to do it, but don't be such an irrational fanatic about it. I mean, there are entire countries that haven't done this nonsense that you're doing. There are entire states within our country that didn't do it. There's entire counties within our state that didn't do it. There are churches within this county that don't do it. Me and Bill went to a church a couple weeks prior, and you walk in the front door, and I was kind of nervous, but you walk in the front door, there's a big sign, "No mask required," is what it said. So you think you're like saving people when the church down the street. That's not how epidemiology works. You can't like protect the people at this church and the people at this church are doing the exact opposite. I mean, these people are going to intermingle over time. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, right? So the answer is not necessarily just to give up, but I mean, just be rational and logical and just calm, like normal, not like Nazi, communist, fanatical, extremist, insane about it, where you trespass people and call the police on people and harass special needs people over the issue. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like a Halloween version of Monty Python. Right? It's like a mean version. It's like a dangerous version of Monty Python. Right? So, anyway, so I was outside. I was making substantive statements. I raised my voice, granted. But John Rice was inside, raising his voice, yelling out irrational gibberish, like epithets and insults. And I mean, it's just crazy, So, at least that's my point of view. I mean, this whole thing is my point of view. So take it, under advisement and as you see fit. I don't expect you to agree. I hope somebody does, but I don't expect you to. I hope so. But so there you go. There you go. So then Dave and I walked out, and I was saying hello to people that I know, and John Rice is back there yelling crazy things, and I'm just like, I was just, they're looking at me, they're looking at him, they're looking at me, I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I got nothing to do with that over there. I got no control over that right there. Like, I don't carry pharmaceuticals with me. I got nothing to help the man with, So, anyway, I think that might be my story. I'm kind of out of gas here, which is probably a very good thing. It's not often that I run out of gas, but that's my account, basically, of what happened. And as soon as I found out I was trespassed, I honored it. I didn't act defiantly, but I had to find out. John Rice is throwing a fit like I know I'm trespassed, but I'm there anyway. No, I didn't even know I was trespassed. I got 4:45 p.m. on Friday. I get an email in my junk email account. Call me and tell me you sent me an email. Send me a text. Please check it right away. It's important. Okay, I'll check it right away because it's important, because you said so. No problem. When do I need to check it by? In the next 5 minutes or next 5 hours? Can I do it tomorrow morning? When do I need to check it by? Something like that. But I didn't even know, And then they give me a generic random envelope with my name scribbled on. I thought everybody got one of those envelopes, The other thing that John Rice lied about was that he started telling people that I was sneaking around. It's like, dude, in this crazy version of epidemiology, you've got every door in the building locked except specified doors. How am I sneaking? I just go in the door that everybody else goes into. How is that sneaking? Like, you think I like have a plant suit and I just like inch myself into the building with a plant suit on, and then I get inside, I take the plant suit off real fast, I sit down, and I'm like, I got in. No, I just walk through the door. How is that sneaking? I don't even have a plant suit. Might be a good idea, though. You can do some good pranks with plant suits. Maybe I'll do that. But, yeah, I mean, okay, so all that, I'm almost done. Don't worry. Okay, all that. And then my friend told me they had a big meeting to talk about me. Okay, who has a meeting to talk about somebody and you don't invite the person to hear the slander that's being leveled against them? Who does that? What kind of person does that? What kind of people do that? That's dirty, if you ask me. I mean, that's low and that's dirty. You want to talk about sneaky? That's sneaky, isn't it? That's low down and dirty and sneaky. That's nasty, ugly behavior, if you ask me. I mean, that's like, sorry, I hate to keep bringing it up, but that's like communist. That's like Nazis. That's like ugly, nasty people. Like in Russia, they bring people in to court inside of a cage like they're an animal, But at least they get to hear what's being said about them, right? I didn't even get to hear it. The only reason I found out was because somebody else told me, and they said that they stood up for me, and I was like, oh, geez, thank you. That's very nice. Thank you for standing up for me, And then the person at the end of the message that I received said, yeah, they're crazy. So it's not just me, folks. I hate to be the one to break it to you. It's not just me. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. Your political and this is my theory, your political fanaticism, extremism, okay, is leading you into a very ugly, dysfunctional place, okay? It says church on the side of the building. It doesn't say Democrat Party headquarters. It doesn't say Republican Party, Libertarian Party, Green Party, whatever party. There's like 14 parties, but 2 or 3, like 2 main ones, obviously. But Communist Party, there is a Communist Party. There's like 50 people in it. But I think there's a Socialist Party too. Anyway, it's a church. There shouldn't be all this political nonsense. When you get up there, it's the coronavirus, there's so many people dying. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Only half the population believes that, okay? I'm not saying it's true, it's not true. Okay, we can sit and debate that till we're blue in the face. But we cannot debate the fact that only half the population actually believes that, okay? And it just so happens to be that the belief is pretty cleanly cut right down partisan lines. Hence, therefore, it is an inescapable conclusion, a logical inevitability, if you ask me, that it is a political issue. I don't care how theatrical you want to get with your little candle seance settings like Amy Bogg and 370,000 people dead. Oh, everybody be sad. It's like, I'm not sad. It's stupid. It's a farce. The numbers are a lie. Everybody knows the numbers are lies. Everybody knows the numbers. Come on. Get real, people. This is a joke. This is a joke. All right? And I don't mean everybody, but I mean a huge percentage of the population, at least 50%. At least. Know that it's a farce. Some people have died, yeah, but some people die every year from the flu, and people get decapitated in their motorcycles, and they say it was a coronavirus. I mean, it's a farce. You're promoting a farce with this crazy, wild-eyed, fanatical, extremist, like theatrical, Emmy award-worthy fanfare. I mean, it wasn't Andrew Cuomo, if that's the right name of the guy, mayor of New York. He won an Emmy because of his press conferences. I mean, how much clearer can you get that this is theater? Right? When a politician wins an Emmy, it's crazy. This whole thing is crazy. Right? And then people get decapitated and they say it was COVID. So, anyway, that's it. That's it for me. That's my account of what happened on November the 1st when I raised my voice outside the building with the door shut in the presence of about 5 people. Okay? I didn't threaten violence. I did talk about the time that Jesus went into the temple and kicked over the tables. And when I did that, I was sitting by one of those little cheap, standing, standing by one of those cheap little plastic tables that you can't break, you can't hurt it. I mean, without really like going crazy on it. I mean, they're very sturdy, they're very stable, they're very resilient, I was standing right there, and I was talking about, and while I was talking about it, I did raise one foot, and I did it in slow motion. You know why? Because I know how slimy John Rice, and I don't know it for a fact about Roger Hendrickson, but I have a feeling. I just had a feeling. I'm like, if I do anything that's like questionable, they're going to blow it all out of proportion. So I'm going to be extremely careful, right? So I did it in slow motion, and then while I was talking about Jesus kicking over the tables in the temple, I just like raised my foot in the air. I didn't even touch the table. I didn't do it. I did it purposely like this in slow motion. Okay? Now that's why I think they're talking about violence. And he started talking about me sneaking. On that day, I'm like, what are you talking about sneaking? This is the door everybody goes. I mean, no, man. You can't have people running a church who are fundamentally dishonest, who lie to get their way. You can't have that. God will never in a million years honor that. And you can't have a people running, I'm talking about John Rice. I mean, you can have him polish the floors and wash the windows, but you can't have him in a position of leadership when he bumps people with his stomach. Technically that's assault, right? I'm not going to file that. That's crazy, right? But I'm just saying that's assault. You can't have a leader of a church assaulting the members because the leader is having a mental breakdown or whatever the heck is going on there, Because I didn't behave the way he wanted me to behave, so he starts bumping me with his stomach. You can't have that, people. And you might just go ahead and have it anyway because you can, and that's fine. But my opinion, God will never honor that. God will never, ever honor that. Okay? And I'm going to wrap it up right here. I knew when Dr. Jerome was done. I knew it. Don't ask me how I know it because I don't know how I knew it. Actually, I didn't know it. I just felt it. I felt like it was true. I'm going to be careful with the word know because I don't know anything. I just have thoughts. I have ideas. I have feelings. I have my opinion. That's it. I don't know. But I felt like, I don't even remember what happened, but something happened and I felt like God tell me, it's like, I will not let this stand. That's what I felt like. Because over the years, I heard Dr. Drawn spewing out this Democrat Party stuff left and right. He was pretty subtle about it. I mean, Dr. Drawn was great. I mean, when I listened to Dr. Drawn preach it, I literally felt like I was in heaven sometimes. Okay? But when he did so much Democrat Party advocacy, that God was telling me, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right. And then something, I don't remember what it was, went over the line, and I felt like God told me, I will not let this stand. And that's it. And then I didn't hear, it wasn't audible. It was just an impulse, just a feeling, And then something about 60 days, and I was like scratching my head. I'm like, what is that all about? Anyway. And then in 60 days, he was gone, right? And I was like, whoa, that's weird, right? And then I'm sitting there listening to Dr. Money, and he's talking about running around with Antifa, throwing bricks, and, he didn't mention. Anyway, he pledged solidarity with the people that were burning down buildings and murdering small business owners, okay? He pledged solidarity with those people. And same thing, God, I felt like I said, God, he's done. That's what I felt like. He's done. 90 days, he's done. That's the impulse that I felt. And I put that on social media, and I was scared because you should never predict future. That's not good. That's like the number one way to make a fool out of yourself. I had no clue he was leaving. I had nothing. I'm like, this is crazy. He's not going anywhere. He loves this place. He was gone 90 days. Okay? So you can keep John Rice in a leadership position if you want to. That's fine. But I can tell you right now, I feel in my heart that God will not honor that. God will not honor that. God will not honor a man that behaves the way he behaves in a position like that. Put him in another position. Find something else from behind the scenes. He does not belong up on that platform. Okay? God will not honor that. Okay? And finally, real quick, I have a vision for this church. It's going to go one of two ways. Either you're going to excel and expand, and you're going to buy up all the 50 of those houses back there behind that church. and I'm up to 25 minutes. So I guess there's going to be a three-legger. The third piece will be very short. I'll be right back.